Hello everyone. Today I want to talk about outdoor play structures and moderate to vigorous physical activity for children aged 8 to 10 years during recess. So let's get started with the reason why we conducted this project. First of all, according to the results from the 2021 and 2022 New Brunswick Student Wellness Survey, only 1 in 5 students get at least 60 minutes of moderate to vigorous physical activity each day. Moderate to vigorous physical activity, or MVPA, is associated with health benefits such as prevention of non-communicable diseases, greater cardiorespiratory and muscular fitness, better cognitive function, etc. That's why it's so important. Now, children spend up to 8 hours at school every day, and this makes schools good environments to promote physical activity. However, when a new school is built or renovated, the budget doesn't include outdoor play structures, and they are quite expensive, and parents think that children need them to be active during recess. Now, recess is an opportunity for physical, social and emotional development for children, and activities that children get to do during this time are influenced by the equipment that is available, facilities, space, policies at school, and support. Now, usually during recess, children can engage in either activities in the play structures or free play. Outdoor play structures are built and designed to promote a predetermined sequence of play, but in free play, children move around in a freely chosen manner. To the best of our knowledge, no study has compared if children achieve more moderate to vigorous physical activity in either one during recess. Therefore, the aim of this project was to explore the differences in time spent at moderate to vigorous intensity between children who have or children who don't have access to outdoor play structures during recess. As secondary outcomes, we also looked at the time at moderate to vigorous physical activity at other times during the week, such as school time and weekends. We also aim to identify the variables that are associated with spending more time at moderate to vigorous intensity during school recess. Now into the methods. We recruited one school in which children didn't have access to play structures in the morning, but they had access in the afternoon. We had 37 participants, but we know that the temperature can influence the level of physical activity when it's performed outside. So we decided to recruit a second school, and they didn't have access to play structures at both recess times. And we have 22 participants. So our second analysis looked at the afternoon recess in both schools. Then we did a further analysis matching our sample by sex and age, as those are also factors that influence physical activity in children. Now, regarding data collection, we collected demographic information from both children and parents, and we used a questionnaire for this. We also asked parents to report their physical activity via the Catherine Shepard Leisure Time Physical Activity Questionnaire, and we asked them how many times a week they did resistance training. For children's moderate to vigorous physical activity, we use Fitbits, model Inspire 2, and we record children's heart rate and estimate moderate intensity with at least 50% of their heart rate reserve. Now let's look at the results. So data are presented as median and 25 to 75 interquartile range, or frequency and percentage. So we have two groups. Our school number 1, who didn't have access to play structures in the morning, but they did in the afternoon, and school number 2 with no access at both times. As you can see, the median age of children was 8 years. Almost 50% of them were male in both schools, and more kids from school number 1 were registered to sports during the academic year. We didn't observe any significant difference between parents, but we saw that parents from school number 2 perform more resistance training a week. Now, we collected data during 20 minutes of recess during 5 days a week. So that gave us a total of 100 minutes of recess per week. And here are the results. The y-axis represents the minutes spent at moderate to vigorous intensity, and the x-axis represents the group. So for our first comparison of the same 37 children having access or not to play structures, the median minutes was 16 and 14. And remember that this had a difference in the temperature, one in the morning and one in the afternoon. Our second comparison, using the same time of the day, the median minutes was 16 for both schools. And for our third comparison, in which we had 22 children in each group of the same sex and age, the median minute was 16 and 11. However, no significant difference was observed in either of the comparisons. Then we have the time spent at moderate to vigorous intensity. At other times, we have the full week, weekdays, school time, and weekend, with no difference between groups. And something that is important to highlight is that only 19 and 18% of children met the physical activity guidelines, which aligns with the statistics from the Students' Wellness Survey. So 1 in 5 children are achieving the recommendation. Now we have the predictors of MVPA during recess. We conducted a quantile regression to see this, and we readjusted for access to play structure, age, sex, total weekly moderate to vigorous physical activity, and parents' physical activity score. And as you see in the screen, the only factor that was significant in our model was the total weekly MVPA. Now into the discussion. What does this mean? So our first finding was no difference in moderate to vigorous physical activity during recess. One of the reasons to explain this is the space that was available. Previous evidence indicates that children are more active in spacious environments independently of structures or in poorly resourced environments because they engage in locomotive activities associated to moderate to vigorous intensity. This means that the presence of play structures alone might not determine the intensity of physical activity. Now, given the main results of this study, it is worth asking why to invest in outdoor play structures in schools. If the goal is to increase moderate to vigorous physical activity, play structures don't seem to be important, but a proper design and a sample size would be needed to confirm these observations. Also, falls from playground equipment are the largest hazard pattern associated with playground use, and they are related to a healthcare cost estimated to $106 million in Canada. In addition, most school staff perceive that they don't have the resources to provide an adequate supervision, and finally, they are costly and not publicly funded. Another important point is the overall low level of physical activity, and we wonder if this is a COVID effect. Maybe this could be attributed to behavioral patterns adopted during the pandemic that persist until now. For example, one study found that from 2018 to 2019, children decreased moderate to vigorous physical activity by 8 minutes, but the difference between 2018 to 2020 was double, 16 minutes. Another study found that in 2020, 47% of boys and 33% of girls achieved the physical activity guidelines, but only 35 and 18% did in 2021. Finally, we observed that the overall physical activity level is associated to moderate to vigorous physical activity during recess time. This is why we believe that the strategies should emphasize on increasing physical activity level in general. For example, by increasing physical literacy, we can have children being more active during recess. If we have children that can run, throw, or swim, then they are going to be able to get involved in so many other more complex activities. Now, some limitations of this study. First of all, we had a very small sample size, and this was mainly because of missing data during the data collection process. We also collected data for only 1 week that might be not representative of the activity all year round. And we had to collect only a 20-minute sample of recess because of the difference in the recess time between schools. So in conclusion, based on this study, accessibility to outdoor play structures is not increasing significantly the time spent at moderate to vigorous intensity during school recess for children aged 8 to 10. And weekly time spent in moderate to vigorous intensity could lead to more time spent at this intensity during school recess. Thanks for your attention. Please let me know if you have any questions.